What is non-negotiable in a relationship for you?
I mean, I don't have too many reservations, but I mean, you can't be married, of course.
Right.
I mean, of course. And kids I could deal with, but do they live with you type of kids? Like that. Like
At
if
some point, they're gonna come to visit, though.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, they could come and visit. I'm like I said, I'm not trying to be a stepmom or anything.
I hear you.
So, I mean, if they stay with their mom and everything, and you had them like before me, yeah, that's cute. I ain't trying to be nobody's stepmom. I'm not trying to braid no hair. So, I mean, I could deal with kids to a certain extent, but I mean, I'm pretty open. I'm pretty open. Like I said, you can't be married or anything.
Yeah, that makes
or
sense.
kids to a certain extent. So that's pretty much it. But I'm pretty open to anything. Like
There's
you
not too
can,
many non-negotiables.
for me, like other people may say different, but for me, like if you got a regular job, if a trash guy, if you a garbage man, okay, that's fine. But as long as you got a job, that's the thing. As long as you got a good job with benefits, I'm fine with that.
I like that.
So
You're not saying he has to be a multimillionaire.
don't.
You're saying, hey, you got a good job, you earn a living. That's
I'm
fine.
not saying a multimillionaire won't be bad. Like I would take a millionaire. But you know, if he's, you know, like let's say for instance, if he's like a lawyer, real estate lawyer, and that, I can deal with that. That's fine. Or like if he's like, let's say for instance he worked for like Coca-Cola or something, I could deal with that. That's fine. That's better than what I'm doing. It's I would say it's more consistent than what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's better.
It's more consistent than what I'm doing, like as far as being
You
a
do a
makeup
lot
artist.
of weddings.
Yeah,
Those
I do.
are always going to be around.
Yeah, but it varies sometimes.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
varies some because some months you may not have weddings, and I gotta depend on like my actual job. So, but yeah, like I'll take a garbage man, a mailman, maybe I was finna say
The
maybe.
UPS guys, the UPS guys
Yeah, I could
are
take
kinda cute.
I'll take a UPS guy, but I'm trying to think like the people at the grocery store, like maybe not somebody at the grocery store. Depends on if he's like the manager or something. Yeah, but if he like a cashier, no.
Back in the day, cashiers used to make really good money. It's
Yeah.
To me, if the job that one has, sometimes we do things, and I say this to clients all the time. Sometimes you do the job that you have to do in order to get to do the thing that you're more passionate about until you can do that thing full time.
Exactly.
And so sometimes what people are currently doing, that's a stepping stone to something else. Yeah, I know that when we were talking about millennials earlier, that millennials put a lot of pressure on themselves to have it all so soon, and I think what you're saying too is it's okay to have an ordinary job. It's okay. It doesn't. I think people have, and this is not Keith saying this. This is more me, that they feel that their jobs define them, and that it tells the world who they are. And you'd be surprised. Like if I go to like a party or a gathering, if people are talking about what they do, and I'm an extrovert, so I'm talkative, and I sometimes won't even say what I do. I'll just listen to other people, or I'll ask them questions about what they do because I'm really interested. But my cap as a therapist is not on. So I do think it defines my personality somewhat because of who I am, and I'm really interested in helping people elevate to the next level. But I'm not wearing that hat like with my friends. I'm not wearing that hat. Like, even as we're doing this, I'm not thinking about it with a therapeutic lens. I feel like I'm interviewing you about dating and relationships. And so I guess my point in a very, very long-winded way is don't let what you do define you. I recently watched the 20th anniversary of 9/11, you know, is this month, and I've been watching three documentaries, and it was an important moment for me. Like, I don't really remember Vietnam, or, you know, there were things that I don't remember, the assassination of Martin Luther King, you know, any of that stuff. I was just, and so 9/11 like really struck me, and I watched a documentary on Netflix about the calls that people made. And within the first 10 minutes, I think it was the North Tower that was hit. South Tower, I think, was the first one to go down, but I think the North Tower was the first one that was hit. And within 10 minutes, there were over 3,000 calls from the building. And so in the documentary, they had all the folks, they were lucky enough to have some of the recordings.
What?
And people they didn't say anything about, thank God, you know, I was able to, you know, I was this banker and to give lots of people loans, or, I'd saved my company millions of dollars. Every single one of them was, I love you. I can't believe how incredible it was to share my life with you. Some people were like, I'm going to make it out. It's okay. Don't worry. They were there like to either try to make their loved ones feel more comfortable. But everyone was about like, I love you. This is like, nobody's thinking about, thank God I was a therapist and I don't think I love my job. I feel passionately about what I do, but those are not going to be my last words. Like, this is what we're talking about. This will be what you'll be thinking about, what I'll be thinking about. How many people did I love? Did I love deeply? Did they love me back? Who's with me in this moment? And so that documentary just struck me. I was like so teary-eyed because everything was about that, about being loved and being seen and saying thank you. And so I do think that a lot of what you're talking about one's position in life, being comfortable with someone, being seen with someone, being authentic, is all about that moment, which is, you know, am I loved, and, you know, have I loved well, and am I loved back? Exactly. Essentially, that's it. Most of us, that's it. It's like, it's such an important thing. And so it really is wonderful to hear that you're encouraged. So let me ask you this. I asked this one. This is one of my favorite questions. What do you wish you would have learned from your parents about relationships?
My parents.
Or if it's not parents, anybody who was significant in your life.
I wish I would have learned how to make it easier. Because I mean, when you're looking at like your parents, you think it's easy because how they're dealing with things. Like my dad, I grew up with my dad. I didn't really grow up with my mom, but him and my stepmom, I felt like it was easy with them. Yeah, they had some disagreements, but we never saw it. But I knew things were going on. Later on, I found out things were going on.
Right,
but
you didn't see anything.
I didn't see it, so I thought everything was all good. But I wish I would have learned how to make things easier, how to deal with certain issues a certain way. Because my dad, though, one thing my dad always taught me was nobody gonna want you if you broke. So like even if a guy or a girl, they're not gonna want you if you broke. So that's one thing I learned from him, far as in a relationship. So I always try to keep a job.
Yeah.
So But I wish I would have learned a little bit more from them on how to communicate more in a relationship. Because that was in my other relationship, we had good communication, but we didn't communicate more so about like how we felt.
Right.
We communicated about like other things, about like, okay, what's coming on TV and stuff, but as far as the relationship or how we feeling about each other, we didn't really do that. So I wish that I would have learned a little bit more of that.
How to communicate. That's
Yeah.
That's so vital. And I get a lot of clients who will say things like, my parents never argued in front of us, and it's not like I think that parents should be, one, there is a clear separation between kids and their and their parents, but to have a conversation about here's how, if you're in a disagreement with someone, here's how you resolve it, and to them to see that modeled. Obviously not in something, you're not talking about your sex life or something that's inappropriate, but it's okay for kids to see parents working through things, and even having a discussion at some point to say, yeah, when you have relationships, whether it's at work or whether it's with somebody that you love, that these are some of the things that you'll need to be able to do. You'll need to know when it's okay to just say, you know what, we disagree. It's all right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I do think that that's definitely important. Let me ask you, does size matter?
Yes and no.
I keep getting that yes and no. Okay.
Yes and no. Yes, it's fun to look at. Okay, I'm gay, so So
it's a
most gays will say, yeah, I like something pretty big. Me, not so much. I like something pretty average. But something
I don't hear that very often. I like something pretty average.
I like something pretty.
No, I know what you're saying. That
I like something pretty average, but something bigger. It's nice to look at from time to time. But when I'm being intimate, yeah, I like something pretty average.
It's funny because I think that looking at something and actually experiencing it are two different things. I always think of Samantha from Sex and the City when it was like Mr. Too Big, and he's like, I really got to tell you that I'm like really well endowed, and she's like, bring it on. And then you see her mouth fall open. She ended up breaking up with the guy because it was Mr. Too Big.
Yeah, like that's like me. Like if it's too big, I'm like, okay, this not gonna work out. I'm not experienced in that way like that. So yeah, this is not gonna work out if you're looking for that.
It's so funny because most people aren't that honest about it. A lot of people will say it matters, and I don't know. I'm under the conception it's like how you work it is more important, and whether your bodies are compatible with one another.
And I feel like that's what it is too. If we're like synced and if it works, yeah, maybe. But that's not what I'm looking for. If it's like,
yeah, your mouth drops open.
It's good to look at, but no, no.
It's like Samantha was like bracing herself.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my innards.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, I like average Joe.
Average Joe.
Yeah, and if you know how to work it.
So let me ask you, as a person who is newly on the market, and I'll kind of leave it at this, because you're a little bit unique compared to some of my clients. Some of the people that I've interviewed is either they haven't been in a relationship or they are in a relationship, and you're somebody who's unique. You were in a long term relationship. I think out of the people I've interviewed, I think you're the person who's been in the longest besides myself, right? And now you're, do you have any advice for somebody who's gotten out of a long-term relationship and now they're ready to get back in the game? And I'll leave you at that. Please pardon me.
Because I feel like what worked good in my previous relationship was that we were friends first, and we still friends now. Like, I still talk to him as a friend now. So find your friend. Find someone that you can joke and laugh and talk stuff with. I want to say shit, but
No, it's okay. You can say shit.
I feel like someone you can talk shit with, because if you can't do that and that person don't get offended, that's something good. Like, because when you get married, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You talk shit to each other. So
There's a lot of laughing.
yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to laugh and talk some mess, and you not get offended. I'm not getting offended, because that's like me. Like, you gotta really, really offend me to offend me. But other than that, you can talk crazy to me. Well, not talk crazy, but you can talk crazy to me, and if I laugh, that's good. So
So friendship is what you're saying.
That's what I'm looking for. That good friend.
Yeah, that's a hallmark of great relationships too. John and Julie Gottman talk a lot about that, and having that friendship is extremely important. Believe it or not, without it, the relationship could lack substance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. You're really amazing, because it took, again, I said it before, a lot of courage. Sounds like you had a comfortable relationship, comfortable in the sense that not so good, and yet you could have stayed and rode that out, and you decided that you were going to be courageous and say, I want more. Mm-hmm. So you're the person that I've interviewed that I think that, if you're looking to get nuggets out of this, and we've been talking about dating and so forth, I think the nuggets here are about not being afraid to get out of your comfort zone, to really ask yourself what you want, and to go after that. I think that's, and to make sure that you're growing yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
No
Keith,
problem.
for being here. You're so
Thank you
wonderful.
for having me.
Of course. Thank you. I really loved it. He's been so amazing. He's been pulling double duty, as I said, so I appreciate him. You guys, again, if you want to know more about Keith in terms of makeup, or if there's a love connection, he is available. Send us your comments. We'd love that, as long as they're positive. I am Chantel Cohen. Please hit the subscribe button. We need more YouTube followers. We'd love that. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. I'm Chantel Cohen, and I hope you become one again. See you soon.